Ladies and gentlemen, there's a truth that's often overlooked. You hold a power that cannot be measured. It's not about your beauty, your charm, or even the things that the world typically applauds you for. It's about the things you choose to keep to yourself. Things that are uniquely yours. Things that shouldn't be handed over to anyone too soon. These aren't secrets for the sake of manipulation or control, but rather truths that protect your essence, preserve your strength, and allow you to navigate the world with power, dignity, and integrity. First, keep your inner world guarded. Understand this: you are a complex being, and the depth of your emotions, thoughts, and experiences are not for anyone to dissect. Too often women are told to share everything, to expose themselves completely in relationships, as if vulnerability alone is the key to intimacy. But vulnerability has its place, and it's earned over time. Your emotions, your thoughts, your innermost struggles, these are part of the sacred space that makes you who you are. They are not for public consumption. When you share everything too soon, too easily, too openly, you risk losing the mystery that gives you power. Keep your inner world to yourself so you can retain your mystery, your autonomy, and your strength. Your true power lies in your ability to guard and reveal those parts of yourself selectively, in a way that aligns with your boundaries and your own journey. Second, keep your vulnerabilities in check. Let me be clear, vulnerability is not a weakness, but it is a tool that must be used wisely. The problem is, if you lay your vulnerabilities out too early, you create an imbalance in the relationship. Vulnerabilities are powerful, but they also need to be handled with care. Too often, in the rush to be seen and understood, women make the mistake of exposing their fears, their weaknesses, and their insecurities before they've established trust. This can lead to one of two outcomes. Either you will find yourself emotionally drained, as others may take advantage of your openness, or you will become dependent on the validation that others give you. The truth is, not every man is equipped to handle your vulnerabilities in a healthy way. And that's okay. Your vulnerabilities are your own, and they deserve to be shared with someone who has earned the right to witness them. Guard them for the right moment, for the right moment, for the right relationship, and for your own self-respect. Third, keep your strengths uncompromised. This might be one of the most important truths I can share with you. Do not diminish your intellect, your ambition, or your drive to make someone else feel comfortable. Too many women, in an effort to not seem threatening, or too much shrink themselves down. They dim their light to fit someone else's idea of what they should be. But I'm telling you, your strengths, your intelligence, your skills, your vision are the very things that will set you apart and elevate you. Don't downplay your capabilities just to make someone else feel like they're in control, or because you think it will make them feel better about themselves. Your brilliance is not something to hide. You are entitled to show up fully in every area of your life, to strive toward your ambitions, and to be unapologetically powerful in your own right. Keep your strengths uncompromised, because the world needs to see you in your fullness, and the right people will respect and admire you for it. Anyone who wants you to shrink to make them feel bigger is not someone worthy of your energy. Now, some might argue that being open, vulnerable, and transparent is the key to a healthy relationship, but it's important to understand that relationships thrive on respect, balance, and shared growth. You are not here to give away all of yourself to someone just to make them feel validated. You are here to honor yourself first, your values, your dreams, your boundaries. When you keep these three things hidden, the full depths of your inner world, your vulnerabilities, and the brilliance of your strengths, you ensure that you are not giving away more than you should too soon. You allow yourself the time and space to grow, to thrive, and to become the best version of yourself, while protecting the essence of who you are. Ladies, you are not here to fit into anyone's mold. You are here to create your own life, your own path, in your own legacy. So, keep some things hidden, not as a means of deception, but as a way of protecting your own sense of self, your power, in your future. Know when to reveal, when to protect, and when to stay silent. Because the true strength lies in understanding the value of what's yours, what's sacred, and what deserves to be shared in its own time. Your inner world is your most sacred space. It's the core of who you are, the thoughts, dreams, fears, desires, and emotions that shape your essence. It's where your strength is forged, where your vision is born, and where your true self resides. And yet so often, women are encouraged to share it all, to expose everything to others, as if revealing every layer is the key to connection. But let me tell you something. Your inner world is not for everyone. It is something to be protected, cherished, and selectively shared. Because when you open up too freely, too soon, you risk giving away pieces of yourself that are irreplaceable. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to the deepest parts of you. Some people won't know how to handle it. Others may take it for granted, and some may even use it against you. When you give away your vulnerabilities, your dreams, your fears, without the right level of trust or understanding, you become exposed. The beauty of your inner world isn't something that should be revealed just to feel silence or to make others feel comfortable. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your inner world is for you first and foremost. It's where you make sense of your life, where you shape your purpose, and where you figure out who you are. And it should be yours to nurture and protect. Keeping your inner world guarded doesn't mean you're cold, distant, or unwilling to connect. It means you understand the value of what's inside you. It means that you realize not everyone will treat that world with the respect it deserves. When you share too much of yourself too quickly, it can overwhelm others or make them uncomfortable. But it can also undermine your own sense of self. People may start seeing you based on the parts you've revealed, and before you know it, you've been reduced to fragments of your truth. The full picture of who you are is far too valuable to be handed out on a whim. It's something that requires care, time, and thought to truly understand. And you should never feel compelled to lay it bare simply because someone asks or because it seems expected. There's a power in mystery, not in the sense of pretending to be something you're not, but in recognizing that there are layers to you that only certain people who have earned your trust, respect, and time should have access to. And this is not about keeping people at arm's length for the sake of being aloof. It's about knowing that the deepest parts of you are not public property. They are precious, and they deserve to be revealed when the time is right, not before. Guarding your inner world is about valuing yourself enough to choose wisely. Who gets to be a part of it? When you allow your inner world to remain yours, when you don't give it away in exchange for validation, attention, or temporary connections, you maintain a sense of sovereignty over yourself. You don't lose pieces of yourself in the hopes that others will like what they see. You hold on to what's yours and share it with those who will honor it, nurture it, and protect it in return. That doesn't mean you shut everyone out, but it does mean you practice discernment. You build relationships that respect your boundaries and that understand that intimacy takes time, trust, and understanding to develop. Your inner world is not a thing to be given lightly or recklessly. It is a treasure that, when shared with the right people at the right time, becomes the foundation of meaningful, lasting connections. But the beauty of your soul is too precious to be spread thin, too valuable to be taken for granted. Guard it, nurture it, and only allow those who will cherish it to enter, because your true power lies in your ability to keep it intact, to remain whole, and to allow the right people to see it for what it truly is. Not because you've made it available to everyone, but because they have earned the privilege to witness it in all its depth. There is incredible power in vulnerability, but with that power comes responsibility. Too many times women are told to be open to share their innermost feelings, to wear their hearts on their sleeves in every situation. And while it's true that vulnerability can build deep connections, it also carries the risk of being exposed, misunderstood, or even exploited. That's why you must learn to keep your vulnerabilities in check, to exercise discernment about when, where, and with whom you open up. Vulnerability is a gift. It's an invitation for others to see your truest self. But that gift is not something to be handed out indiscriminately, because not everyone has earned the right to receive it. When you give away your vulnerabilities too freely, too early, you're giving away a part of your power. You're opening yourself up without considering whether the person on the other side is equipped to handle it. The truth is, not everyone will treat your vulnerabilities with the care and respect they deserve. Some may see it as a weapon to manipulate you. Others might not know how to support you. And some may simply not be capable of understanding the depth of what you're revealing, when you expose your vulnerabilities without thinking you run the risk of losing your sense of self. Vulnerability is powerful, yes, but it's also fragile. The more you expose, the more you make yourself susceptible to being hurt or rejected, and that rejection can be damaging, especially when it comes from someone you trust. The key is to protect that part of yourself until it's the right time, and until the relationship has been established on a foundation of trust, understanding, and mutual respect. You deserve to feel safe in your vulnerability, not just emotionally, but in a way that respects the full complexity of who you are. Keeping your vulnerabilities in check doesn't mean you should hide who you are or suppress your feelings. It simply means that you need to be strategic about when and where you show them. Don't give away your fears, your struggles, or your deepest emotions to someone who is not ready to hold them. Instead, preserve that part of yourself until you found someone who can meet you with the same level of depth, someone who values your authenticity and is prepared to be there for you without taking advantage of it. The danger of overexposing your vulnerabilities too soon is that it creates an imbalance. Relationships, whether personal or professional, thrive when there's an exchange of trust, support, and respect. If you give too much too soon, the other person might not reciprocate in the same way, and that's not a healthy dynamic. You deserve relationships where your vulnerabilities are honored and respected, where there's a balance in what you give and what you receive. So learn to protect your vulnerabilities, not as a means of building walls around yourself, but as a way to ensure that when you choose to open up, it's with the right person, who will appreciate your strength, your tenderness, and your authenticity. By keeping your vulnerabilities in check, you take control of how and when you reveal your deepest self, and you create space for a relationship that's built on mutual respect and understanding, not one that exploits or undermines your truth. There is power in knowing when to speak and when to hold back. Vulnerability is not weakness, but if it's given without thought or care, it can be. Be mindful of when to share your heart and when to protect it. For in doing so, you build a stronger foundation for yourself and for the relationships that truly matter. There's something I want to make clear. Your strength is your gift, your brilliance, your abilities, your talents. These are not just traits you should possess, they are the very forces that shape your life in the world around you. Far too often, women are taught to diminish themselves, to downplay their abilities so that others don't feel uncomfortable or so they don't come across as too much. And what does that do? It holds you back. It diminishes the very power that you were born with. And that, my friends, is a disservice not just to you, but to everyone who could benefit from your potential. There's an unfortunate narrative out there that says women need to soften their edges, to make themselves smaller to fit into the space that society has created for them. But this is not about making anyone feel comfortable. This is about you. This is about you recognizing that your strengths, your intellect, your ambitions are powerful, and they deserve to be nurtured, celebrated, and displayed unapologetically. You were not born to shrink for anyone's comfort. You were born to rise, to challenge, and to leave your mark. Don't let anyone convince you that. Being smart, being strong, being driven, being ambitious is something you should hide. Don't let anyone make you feel like your success is an inconvenience to others. You have the right to show up fully, to stand tall in your abilities, to be everything you are capable of being. You have the right to claim your space in the world, to excel, and to set the bar high. Your brilliance is not a threat, it is a gift, and it is high time that you start treating it as such. When you compromise your strengths, when you dim your light to make someone else feel better or more secure, you are betraying yourself. You are telling the world that your potential isn't worthy of being fully realized. You are telling yourself that the best version of you is not enough. Enough. And that is a lie. The truth is, your strength is the very thing that will carry you through the toughest of times. It is the foundation upon which you will build your dreams, your relationships, and your future. There's something incredibly powerful about a woman who owns her strengths. It's not about being arrogant. It's not about seeking validation from others. It's about knowing your worth and standing firmly in that knowledge. When you stop compromising your power, you free yourself from the fear of judgment, from the fear of being too much, from the fear of stepping into your full potential. And when you free yourself, you give permission for others to do the same. You create a ripple effect that can change the way women are seen, that can change the way women see themselves. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that in order to be loved, to be accepted, to be respected, you must shrink. You must shrink yourself less than you are. But that is a trap. When you shrink your greatness, you rob the world of the gifts you were meant to give. And when you diminish your own strengths, you teach others that it's acceptable for them to do the same. The world needs women who are unapologetically strong, who are willing to claim their brilliance, and who are ready to step into their fullest potential. And that starts with you, right? Now, so stop holding back. Stop apologizing for your intelligence, your drive, your success, your ambition. You don't have to make yourself small for anyone else's comfort. Your strengths are yours for a reason. They are the very tools that will help you create the life you deserve, the life you've dreamed of. They will propel you forward when the road gets tough, and they will light the path for others who need to see what is possible. Possible when you refuse to compromise your greatness. Stand tall, show up fully, be everything you are meant to be, without hesitation, without doubt, without fear. Because when you do, you not only empower yourself, but you also pave the way for others to follow suit. Your strengths are the very force that will change the world, and they should never, ever be compromised. Keep your standards high, not just for others but for yourself. The world will constantly try to convince you to lower your expectations. It will tell you that compromise is the key to peace, that settling for less is just part of life. But I'm here to tell you something different. Your standards are not something to be compromised, not for comfort, not for convenience, not for anyone. Your standards are the blueprint for the life you want to live, the life you deserve. When you lower your standards, you are telling the world that you don't believe in your own worth. You are settling for less than what you deserve, and that erodes your confidence, your self-respect, and your sense of value. High standards aren't about being rigid or unreasonable. They're about knowing who you are, what you bring to the table, and what you're willing to accept in return. High standards mean that you refuse to be treated as less than they. They mean that you refuse to let anyone disrespect you, take you for granted, or make you feel small. But keeping your standards high doesn't just apply to the people you let into your life. It applies to how you treat yourself, how you hold yourself accountable, how you show up in the world. High standards mean that you hold yourself to a level of excellence, of discipline, of integrity. They mean that you refuse to settle for mediocrity, not just in others, but in your own actions and choices. You deserve to be the best version of yourself, unapologetically, relentlessly pursuing the goals, dreams, and aspirations that make you feel alive. Your standards are a reflection of your self-worth, and when you set them high, you teach others how to treat you. You show them that you know your value, and that anyone who wants to be a part of your life has to meet the same standard. You do not need to prove yourself to lower your expectations or to shrink your vision to fit into someone else's idea of what's possible. Keep your standards high, because the world needs to see you shine at your fullest potential. You are not here to be anyone's accessory. You are not here to be defined by someone else's needs, desires, or expectations. You are here to forge your own path, to build a life that reflects your values, your passions, your dreams, and the foundation of that life, of the life you deserve to create, is autonomy. It is the strength to remain independent, to stand on your own 2 feet, to make decisions that serve your highest purpose, not someone else's agenda. Autonomy is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It's the bedrock of your self-respect, your self-worth, and your self-sufficiency. Too often in relationships, in careers, or even in societal expectations, women are encouraged to compromise their autonomy for the sake of others, to give up their independence, to fit into someone else's life, someone else's mold, or someone else's vision of who they should be. But when you sacrifice your autonomy, you are sacrificing a piece of yourself. You are surrendering control over your own life, and in doing so you invite imbalance, resentment, and ultimately a loss of self. Now I know the pressure can be immense. Society tells you that in order to be loved, to be accepted, to be valued, you must blend in, shrink yourself, and become what others expect you to be. But that is not true power. True power comes when you own your autonomy, when you are unapologetically yourself, independent of anyone else's validation. The truth is, your worth does not come from what someone else can offer you or how they define you. It comes from within, from the strength to make decisions that align with your values, to honor your needs, to create a life that serves you, not just others. When you maintain your autonomy, you remain in control of your choices. You get to decide where you go, who you spend your time with, and how you navigate the world. You don't give up your identity for the sake of companionship, security, or approval. You maintain your voice, your direction, and your clarity of purpose. Autonomy means you don't need to seek permission to live your truth. It means that you are whole and complete, independent of anyone else's influence, and that you are free to pursue the life you deserve. And here's the thing. When you maintain your autonomy, you are not only protecting yourself, you are also creating stronger, more balanced relationships. It is only when you are whole within yourself, when you stand firmly in your own independence, that you can truly give of yourself in a way that is healthy and empowering. When you're not seeking validation, when you're not relying on someone else to define your worth, your relationships become spaces of mutual respect and growth. You can give love freely without attachment, because you have no need to depend on someone for your sense of self. You can support others without losing yourself in the process. Your autonomy is your shield and your sword. It gives you the power to say no when something isn't right for you, and it gives you the freedom to say yes to the opportunities that will elevate your life. When you remain fiercely autonomous, you never have to settle, never have to compromise your values, and never have to dim your light to make someone else feel comfortable. Too many women have given up their autonomy, trading their independence for the illusion of security or acceptance. But that is not true strength. True strength lies in standing tall in your own life, in making decisions based on your own judgment, in living according to your own principles. Keep your autonomy intact because it is the key to everything you want to achieve. It is the key to the woman you are becoming, the woman who knows her work, earth, and the woman who will not be moved by anyone or anything that does not align with her truth. So hold on to it fiercely. Your autonomy is your birthright, and it will carry you through every challenge, every relationship, and every moment of doubt. It is your unwavering compass, guiding you toward the life you were always meant to live. Do not let anyone or anything take that from you. Keep your autonomy intact, because when you do, you will have the freedom to become the fullest version of yourself, to achieve the life you envision, and to never settle for anything less than what you deserve. Your autonomy is not just a part of you, it is the essence of who you are. It is the force that drives you, the foundation that keeps you grounded, and the freedom that allows you to shape your life on your own terms. Do not allow anyone or anything to steal that from you. Stand firm in your independence, protect your individuality, and make decisions that honor your deepest truths. When you keep your autonomy intact, you empower yourself to build the life you deserve, one that reflects your values, your dreams, and your unique worth. Never forget the greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to be unapologetically you. Keep that autonomy close and let it guide you toward the greatness you are meant to achieve.